Hello, this is Mikos Mitchell, also known as DJ 2 Bad Meek, and this is the second part of my video. And it's September 11th, 2016, and this is the second part of the video on the 15th anniversary of 9/11. This is enough said, and now I'm going to talk about what's been happening. So, about recently, my girlfriend, Heather Carlson, she gave me this picture that she found in the pocket of her journal, a picture of me from 5 years ago, from the University of Iowa, Iowa City, Iowa. It was a picture of me with cornrows during the Iowa City / University of Iowa River Run from April of 2011. That's when I wore cornrows, and I volunteered at the event. I gave water and yogurt or bananas to the runners. And I saw this guy named Tom Walz. He was a University of Iowa professor in the 70s and 80s, and he was department chairman of the School of Social Work. He also founded the Uptown Bill Small Mall, an Extended Dream Foundation in Iowa City, Iowa. And it was Bill Stachter, who had a developmental disability. His IQ was below 70. I don't like to call mental retardation. I like to call people with low IQ differently enabled. Yeah, that's a developmental disability. Differently enabled. But anyway, he was born in St. Paul, Minnesota in 1913. And he lived to be 70 years old. And he lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota before he went to the psychiatric ward or mental institution in Faribault, Minnesota. And he was in there from the time he was 7 to the time he was like 60s, in his 60s. Basically, he was in there for like 50 something years. And then Barry Marrow lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He became the screenwriter, and he's the one that wrote the play and screenplay called Rain Man. Barry Marrow. To make the long story short, after they moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota, then several years later they moved from the Twin Cities. They moved from Minneapolis, Minnesota to Iowa City, Iowa. And Bill Stachter began to work in a coffee shop in a school of social work at the University of Iowa campus. But sadly, he died in 1983. I think it was June 16th, 1983. He was 70 years old. And they had his funeral at Old Capitol, the Pentecrest, in front of Old Capitol in Iowa City, Iowa. And I began to live his legacy. With Bill Stachter, I also volunteered at Uptown Bill Small Mall, right on Gilbert Street in Iowa City in 2010 before they moved it to Dubuque Avenue. But back to what I was saying, I love the old picture of me wearing cornrows.